the British rule in India that has saw some several laws related to the environment. Among the earliest one were in Bombay and Calcutta Act of 1853 and the Oriental Gas Company Act of 1857, the Indian Penal Code in 1860. All these are imposed a fine on anyone who voluntarily fouls the water of any public reservoir or a spring. The type of air pollution is involved in such a huge classification. It broadly classified as air pollution, biological pollution, electromagnetic pollutions, natural pollution, noise pollution, radiation pollutions, soil pollution, solid waste pollution, space pollution, thermal pollution, visual pollution, water pollution, and many other also involved in a type of pollution. The important factor for the pollution that is generated newly, that is a new concept that has been evolved by the scientist, or we can say that is discovered recently, that is a space debris, that is artificial object in space, principally in the Earth orbit, which no longer serve as a useful function. This include some spacecraft, non-functional spacecraft, and abandoned launch vehicle stages, the mission-related debris, which particularly numerous in Earth orbit, fragmentation, and many other important types of space pollution is involved. Another is electromagnetic pollutions that can be classified into ionizing dose radiation and non-ionizing dose radiation based on the capability of a single photon with more than 10 eV energy to ionize those atoms and break those chemical bonds. Extreme ultraviolet and higher frequencies such as X-ray or gamma rays or any other. In the 1985, the Indian government created a Ministry of Environment and the Forest, and that ministry is a central administrative organization in India for regulating and ensuring the environmental protections. Despite the active passage of law by the central government, the reality of environmental equality, mostly between 1947 and 1990, the rural poor had no choice but to sustain the life in whatever way they are possible. The air emission increased, water pollution, ocean and forest cover also decreased. Some have cited some economic development as the cause regarding the environmental issues, and it is suggested that the India's growing population is the primary cause of India's environmental degradation, and along that the empirical evidence also involved in the countries such as Japan, England, Singapore, which is a population density similar to higher than that of India. Yet they all are enjoying the environmental quality vastly superior to India's. Suggests the population density may not be the only factor affecting the environmental issues, the environmental degradation that the major concern for India's cases. The major environmental issues are forest and agricultural degradation and some resource depletion such as water, minerals, forest, sand, rocks, etc. And the environmental degradation in the public health, loss of biodiversity, loss of resilience in ecosystem, that's livelihood security for the poor. The major sources of pollution in India include the rapid burning of fuel wood and biomass such as dried waste from the livestock as the primary source of energy. The flood are a significant environmental issues for India. It causes soil erosion, destruction of wetlands and wide migration of solid waste. it is day by day has been increasing. The environmental issues are generated more often, more frequently than ever before, and this has this has been proved, has been seen quite evident that these environmental issues will go a major setback for India's economy, India's social life, India's daily lifestyle, also some other major issues that are related directly to the environmental degradation, and that will hamper, that will create some panic situation in future, and the poor management of waste, air pollution, the high emission plants, the transport sector, and some growing water scarcity, water preservation and quality of forest issues, and the biodiversity losses all are involved for the current environmental crisis that has generated across the nation. There is a long history of study and debate how the interaction between this population growth and the environment, according to the British thinker Malthus, that, for example, the growing population exert a pressure on agricultural land, causing the environmental issues, forcing the cultivation of land of higher as well as poorer quality. This environmental degradation ultimately reduce the agricultural yield and food availability and diseases and death, thereby reducing the rate of population growth. India has a major water pollution issues. Discharge of untreated sewage is an important cause for the population of surface and groundwater. The data also suggests that the pollution density has a little correlation to the environment quality and human quality of life. That density is involved in a large areas. The problem is not only the India's lack insufficient treatment capacity, but also the sewage treatment, and air pollution is the most important issue in the biomass burning, fuel adulteration, vehicle emission, transport industry, and the traffic congestion. The main cause of Asian brown cloud, the main cause which has been causing the monsoon season to be delayed, the world's largest consumer of fuel wood, agricultural waste, also the energy biomass for the energy purposes. According to the NASA, groundwater decline at the highest on Earth between 2002 and 2008, then in North India, and these are agricultural productivity that depends on irrigation largely, and this collapse in agricultural output in the resident that July 2012, about 670 million people or 10% of the world population lost power, blamed for the severe drought restricting the power delivered by the hydroelectric dams. Vehicle emission is another source of air pollution, where the vehicle emission is the poor fuel combustion efficiencies for traffic congestion and the low density of quality. In order to reduce the air pollution effect in India, introducing the hybrid and electric vehicle for the faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicle in India, while these challenges are slowing down the development of cleaner combustion fuel in the motor vehicle scheme. And gradually all these steps and the involvement for each and individual may in future reduce the environmental risk and save many lives in future. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.